Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Go to it.
So we'll start now to the motion. In 2D motion, now it can be projectile or it may be any other motion which is in 2 dimension. All will be part of 2D motion. In fact, we can take 3D also, but first I am taking only 2D motion. I will take multiple axes in this. I will take large number of axes. How many axes we can take? 4 axes at least.
Sir, in 2D motion, we are not taking 2 axes.
No, usually in books they take 2 axes only. That is a common approach, but I don't want to do that. I want to take 4 axes. I will tell you why. You will understand the reason. More clarity will be there if I take 4 axes. H and V. I will write horizontal and vertical as H and V. And the axis which is along the inclined plane, that I'm writing as theta axis. Sometimes I call it as parallel axis because it is parallel to the inclined plane. And the y axis I can call as perpendicular axis because it is perpendicular to the inclined plane. This x axis you can consider as inclined plane. You can assume there is a wedge here. Wedge, you know what is meaning of wedge?
Yes,
some inclined plane like this it is there. From here we are projecting the particle and that is falling on this somewhere. That is the situation. So this is making theta angle with the horizontal, right? And what we want now, we want to discuss first equations of motion will be same. No new equation of motion here. We already know those ut plus half it square will be applicable. What other equations? V plus u by 2 into t will be displacement will be applicable. These are vectors. You have to take like vectors which will have I cap, j cap component, all components will be there. proper vectors, especially when it is two-dimensional motion. Okay, this is your next v square minus u square equal to 2as. That is also there. Next, what are the formula there? Vt minus half at square is also there. What other is there? 1, 2, 3. These are and other SNF formula. Those all means all formula are applicable. Why should I write again? All those which we have done so far, those informally accelerated motion, those are applicable because if we are taking 2D motion under gravity, we are taking 2D motion under gravity only. For gravity, those formula will obviously be applicable, right? I will take those examples also where it is 2D motion but not under gravity. Those also will be interesting questions. 2D motion is there but not under gravity. That also can be asked. Anyway, now if I take initial velocity making an angle, what should I take angle? Maybe let me do one thing. Let me take this angle as alpha. This I will take as beta, and total I will take as theta. Means alpha plus beta is equal to theta. Is it okay? This is initial velocity u. So what is my question now? When we want to solve a problem, we should be very familiar with UH, U vertical, U x-axis, U y-axis, AH, A vertical, A x-axis, A y-axis. This. Can you do it very fast and can you tell me quickly what will be the value of U horizontal component of U? Very good. I hope everybody understands that, not only just few members. How to take component? If I have to take horizontal component, then I have to take perpendicular passing through the head of U, and means that line I have to take parallel to V axis, and it will be cutting it here. So this angle, or simply forget that also. I told you, very simple way. Always think in terms of cosine angle. What is cos of angle of U made with horizontal? Cos of angle of U with horizontal will be cos theta only. So it is U cos, sorry. It is just U cos theta only. Okay. What about U vertical?
U sin theta.
Very nice. Again, think in terms of cos. What angle it makes with vertical? Between vertical and horizontal 90, it will be 90 minus theta. So you are right, U cos 90 minus theta will become U sin theta only. U cos 90 minus theta, and next step I am writing U sin theta also, same thing. What about UX and UY?
U cos beta.
UX will be again simple. What is the angle made with x-axis?
Beta.
So U cos beta. Are you remembering that x-axis is also equal to inclined plane? It is the incline here, right? What is UY?
Sin beta.
Yes, 90 minus beta, which will be now equal to, as you said, U sin beta. Very good. But one thing we have to be careful about, are these positive or negative? All of these. Is there any value which is negative? How to tell positive or negative? Think in terms of coordinates. If I take its horizontal coordinate and vertical coordinate, then it will lie in which coordinate? It is lying in first quadrant. In first quadrant, both are positive or not? In first quadrant, x and y both are positive, right or not? So for x-axis and for y-axis, and y-axis also, it is lying in which quadrant? It is lying in first quadrant for that also. All are positive only. Nothing is negative in this. All are positive. It is in the first quadrant of x and y, and it is in the first quadrant of v and h. Okay. What about horizontal acceleration? Let us now. It is your test. You will be able to do it. Very good, right? How do you know? G is vertically downwards. What is angle made by G with horizontal? Angle made by G with horizontal is
90.
So I could write like this. I could say it is actually equal to minus G cos 90 degrees but finally it is 0. So there is no horizontal acceleration. What about with vertical? With vertical, we already know it is vertically downwards. Vertically downwards means yes, right. Now it will be negative minus g, vertically downwards. What about x-axis? X-axis means inclined plane axis.
Minus g sin beta.
Right or not?
Sin
Let me check
alpha.
once. I'm not sure. I have to verify properly. I have to be correct only. G is vertically downwards. This is G, and I have to take a component along which side you are taking. You are taking along the x-axis. Is it looking like x-axis now? It is along x-axis, right?
Yes.
So I think you said it right. It seems. What is the angle made with x-axis? With the negative side. On negative side, what is angle made here? Angle made is equal to, this is producing this 90, and this is alpha. This is 90. It will be 90 minus alpha. How do we know? This is a straight angle, right? Alpha plus 90 plus this. Total is 180 degrees. So this side, it should be 90 minus alpha then g cos 90 minus alpha, which will become and minus also. Why minus? Towards negative x-axis. I have to produce x-axis backwards. Someone gave wrong answer for this, or is what it was right? You got it? If not understood, then you can ask me. Hello?
Yes, sir. We understand.
Understood, right? What about acceleration along y-axis?
Minus g cos alpha.
Along y, I have to produce this backwards. Let me produce y-axis also backwards. So to produce y-axis backwards this way, and I have to take component along that side. So you can directly also, we can say, no, this is our, that was the best method. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. In third quadrant, obviously angle will be x and y coordinates both will be negative. Its x is also negative and its y is also negative. So this will be minus of what value? Minus of g cos alpha. Right. So I have taken nearly 5 minutes to just say what are the components, because I want to explain and things should be clarity should be there for you. But it should not take 5 minutes. If you are really very good at it, then you can do it almost instantaneously just by looking at it. If you ask me quickly, u cos beta, u sin beta for G. This is alpha here, so it is alpha here 90 minus alpha. So obviously G sin alpha this side, G cos alpha this side, means it will become very fast. Okay, let me tell you one very quick trick for G. You know what is the trick? Do you remember such questions from your earlier classes? That the block is there on the inclined plane, it has downward force.
Yes, sir.
mg.
Yes, sir. G cos theta and G sin theta.
Mg sin theta is always along the incline, and Mg cos theta is always perpendicular to the incline. This is a very nice trick. These students has learned already, because you have learned already this thing. So what you can do now, but don't write theta, because you know angle of inclination of incline is there, not theta. Angle of inclination of the incline is here, alpha. So in place of sin theta, it will be sin alpha. In place of cos theta, it will be cos alpha. So we know already. We know this side component will be cos alpha, and along the incline, the component will be sin alpha. Right or not?
Yes, sir.
So if you recall those components of Mg, then you will be able to do it right. Okay. Is it okay? Understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next we have, let us now write the equations. What equations we will prefer now? Let us discuss about that. So few things before we even start using these equations, I want to tell you few points about projectile motion. Some I have told already equivalent points in this last case also. Take any two lines and name them line 1, line 2. Line 1, line 2. Time taken to go from line 1 to line 2, and time taken to come back from line 1, line 2 to line 1, and line 1 to line 2 will be same. If this time is 2 to 1, and this time is 1 to 2, time from 2 to 1 will be equal to time from 1 to 2. Why is it so? Why will the time be same? How can you prove it? How to prove? And let us consider these as x-axis lines, and this is y-axis letters. If I take here u1y and this is v1y, I can say u1y will be equal to v1y. This is u2 y-axis. This is v2 along y-axis. You know how the particle is going? Particle is going in this way. So while it is having velocity here, v1, it is v1y is just one component of v1. v2. Similarly, here velocity was, let us say, u2. Here velocity was, let us say, u1. So it is component of u1 along y-axis. I can prove easily that u1y will be equal to v1y. And how to prove it? Let me take first from A to B. Displacement of particle along y-axis from A to B. What will be displacement of particle along y-axis? 0 or not? You know what is y-axis? This was y-axis. Okay or not? I am taking along perpendicular axis, I am taking as y-axis. Okay. Along parallel, I am taking it as. So the particle goes here. You can treat this line as x-axis. You can treat this line as x-axis, and you can treat this as y-axis. I can observe where particle is going here, again reaching back on the x-axis. If it is reaching back on the x-axis, then displacement along y will become 0.
Yes, sir.
If it becomes 0 and acceleration along y, as you already know, if I make this makes an angle alpha, then you already know what is acceleration along y, minus g cos alpha. I told you this, remember, acceleration along y will be minus g cos alpha. Okay. What is initial velocity along y? Initial velocity along y is nothing but, for this particular example, u2y. And what is the final velocity along y? Final velocity for this particular example, I am taking it to be v2y. What I have to prove? I have to prove this is equal to this. How to prove? I can prove by applying formula v2y square minus u2y square is equal to 2 into ay into sy, which is equal to 0, and this is v2y minus u2y square is equal to 0, or I can say v2y is equal to u2y magnitude wise. Direction wise, nobody needs to tell me. I already know it is opposite in direction. Therefore, answer should be minus of u2y. Magnitude wise, it is okay. Magnitude wise, these are equal only. v2y is equal to u2y. But direction wise, from the physical situation, I can tell that their direction has to be opposite. Okay. Okay. Negative sign because direction is opposite. Right. So can I say similar thing for particle going from C to D? This to this place. Then I can say u1y will also be equal to v1y. If I'm able to say that, then I can tell that along y-axis, the average velocity along y-axis here and average velocity or y-axis here will be same. If average speed is same and the distance is same, then time taken to go from A to C will be same as time taken to go from D to B, because the average speed is same and the distance is also same. Average velocity along y-axis, average velocity is equal to u1y plus u2y by 2 during upward journey, and during return journey, downward journey, average velocity will be equal to v1y plus v2y divided by 2 during downward journey. And also the lines are parallel. If the lines are parallel, then the distance time taken from A to C will be equal to displacement along y-axis from A to C upon average velocity along y-axis. Time from D to B is equal to displacement along y from D to B divided by average velocity along y. These are equal. Both velocities are same only or not? 1 and 2 are equal in magnitudes. How do I know these are equal in magnitude? Because I have already proved u1y is separately equal to v1y and u2y is separately equal to v2y. So these have to be equal. You say what? You are asking something? Now I know from third and the fourth equation, I can tell denominators are same. Denominators are same and numerators are also same or not? What is displacement along y-axis from A to C? From A to C, displacement along y, and from D to B, displacement along y are equal in magnitude. Direction is opposite.
Yes.
So these are equal in magnitude, direction opposite. But similarly, these velocities are also, let us consider this velocity as b dash. These velocities are also equal in magnitude, but directions are opposite. Therefore, overall magnitude wise, time from A to C and time from D to B will come out to be same, right? As
Yes.
Vy is equal to V dash y mod magnitude wise, and Sy A to C magnitude wise is equal to Sy D to B. Therefore, time A to C is equal to time D to B. This time taken will always be same. Don't forget it ever. Between any two parallel lines.
Okay, sir.
One more thing I can tell about parabolic paths in general. It is not about projectile only, any parabola. If I have a parabola, whether downward parabola, upward parabola, doesn't matter. Valid for any parabola. If I take point A and point B, and here tangent I am taking, making an angle alpha 1, and tangent at B, making an angle, let us say alpha 2. Let me not do that way, because let me take in such a way so that the parabola is having both points along positive side. B point, alpha 2 angle. And if I join these two together, then angle is here. Let us say, what should I call this angle? by joining the points.
Beta 1.
Let us call it alpha.
Beta 1,
One
sir.
end is alpha 1, other is alpha 2. This I'm calling as alpha. So now, what is the slope at A? Slope at A will be tan alpha 1 or tan alpha 2 or tan alpha. Tell me, what is slope at A?
Tan alpha 1.
Tan
Tan
alpha
alpha
1
1, sir.
is slope at A. Correct only. What is slope at B?
Tan alpha 2.
Tan alpha 2. Slope at B is equal to tan alpha 2. This is a parabola. Don't forget it. It is a parabola. Okay. Remember, for parabolas, always the average slope between A and B equals the slope at A plus slope at B divided by 2. Means tan alpha will be equal to tan alpha 1 plus tan alpha 2 divided by 2. How to prove it? Prove that for parabolas, can you prove it? What is the formula for the slope? Equation of parabola. This is the proof. Equation of parabola is of the form, right or not?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
What is slope equation? Dy by dx. All right.
Yes, sir.
Now, let us say I want to find slope at two different points. One is at x1. This is, let us say, x1, and that other one is x2. Then dy by dx I should write, dy by dx. So slope at x1 is equal to 2a
Sir.
2a
2a, sir.
2a x1 plus b, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the slope at x2?
2a.
2a x2 plus b. What is the average slope? Average slope is coming out to be slope at x1 plus 2b divided by 2. If I find it out, what is it?
A of x1 plus x2 plus b.
A into x1 plus x2 plus b.
Yes, sir.
Now I have to find out, if I join these lines, what is the slope of this line? I have to find it out. I can find the slope of this line by taking the difference divided by this. This is equal to x2 minus x1, and this is y2 minus y1. Let's
Yes,
find
sir.
it out. This is slope at A plus slope at B divided by 2. Means it is our right hand side which we want to prove. Which equation we want to prove? We want to prove that for parabolas, average slope between points A and B is equal to slope at A plus slope at B divided by 2, right? Want to prove this one. How to prove it? Now, RHS is done. LHS will be y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. What is y2 minus y1? Let us take the difference. a x2 square plus b x2 plus c minus a x1 square plus b x1 plus c divided by x2 minus x1. What do I get? I think I will be getting plus b into x2 minus x1 divided by x2 minus x1, which is equal to a into x2 plus x1 plus b. That is LHS. Is LHS equal to RHS or not? Same. Only for parabola this will be valid. So it is interesting that in parabola, slope of one and slope of other, if I take at two endpoints, if I take the slope, then the average slope between those two will be same as the sum of the slopes divided by 2. Okay. This is only for parabola. Or I can tell you why it happened. Slope is linear function in X. Whenever quantity varies linearly, then average also always comes out to be equal to the first value and plus second value, means the value at first extreme plus value at the second extreme divided by 2. That will be the average value in general for all such cases. Wherever the function is linearly varying, then average can always be found like this. That is how I was sure already that average will be this only. Average slope will be this only. Slope of 1 plus slope of 2, slope at 1, slope plus slope at 2 divided by 2. Sometimes this point will be convenient for us. We will use it. Now make HUT triangle quickly. HUT. Just with one difference. In place of H, I can say here along y-axis. And then all those relations which we derived before will be valid as it is. What relation we derived before? uy square by 2 into ay, mod of ay actually. What is ay? I already know ay. Ay was equal to g cos alpha. For projectile along inclined plane which projectile? This one. This is alpha, this is beta, u falling in this way here. This is our x-axis, this is our y-axis. For this case, what is h here? H along y-axis. Maximum height obtained along y-axis. It is not actual height. Height is, where is the maximum height? This point is maximum height. What is it? It is just maximum displacement along y-axis, we can say. Okay, what does it represent here? It does not represent maximum height. It just represents
One more time
maximum.
repeat, sir.
Huh?
One more time repeat, sir.
I have not even completed. What do you want me to repeat? This is same diagram only. I made it early because I made it quickly because it is same thing only. Have you attended this one or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then it is same only. What difference there it is in this? I'm just doing it again. Alpha same, beta same, x same, y same, initial velocity same. Only one thing extra I have done. I have now made a path. What will be the path followed by the projectile? Path followed will be such downward parabola type path, but it stops here in between only. Why it stops here? Because there's a plane here. It strikes the plane. Okay. Is that okay?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Right. This is initial velocity. Now, what does Hy represent here? Hy simply represents maximum displacement along y-axis. When will the displacement along y-axis be maximum? It will be maximum when
Vy 0.
yes, exactly right. Because by condition of maximum and minimum, we can say for Sy to be maximum, d Sy by dt will be equal to 0, and therefore which velocity will be 0? Velocity along y-axis will be 0. Velocity along y-axis is 0. Now you notice that this case is similar to the case when we throw a body upwards. In that also velocity becomes 0. Here it is not becoming 0. Is it becoming 0 or not? It is not becoming 0. Here velocity along y-axis is becoming 0. But similar to case of vertically upward projection, in which velocity at highest point used to be 0. Although here it is not 0, but one component at least is 0. So I'm not saying that it is exactly similar. Obviously there is a difference, but it is component wise it is similar only. If I take just component wise only, then it is appearing to be same only as before. Therefore I can use those formulae which we derived before. What formula? Height along y-axis. What is Ay by the way? Ay was equal to minus g cos alpha. I can write here. Let us do one thing. Only my notation. I only use it, not a standard notation, but I say in this way. If I write here gy, then I say that I'm taking magnitude wise. Okay, and then I'm taking g cos alpha only magnitude wise. Means you think that as if I'm taking gy. Let gy be a quantity which is just mod of ay. Okay. Let gy be a quantity which is equal to mod of. Then 2gy. But in the opposite side, what is the relation? Uy will be equal to root 2 into gy into hy. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. Maximum.
Screen share sharper, sir.
Yes, sir.
Screen share.
You are
Okay, wait.
disconnected, I think, sir.
Screen share is not there. Maximum displacement along y-axis.
Yes, sir. Screen sharing is not.
Let me start again. So start. Okay. Hy is maximum displacement along y-axis. Now you can see, right?
Yes, sir.
So now, what is the relation along time? If I go to the time, then the relation will be t. Let us call it. What should I call it? Total time of flight. I'm writing directly. Total time of flight will be 2uy by gy. Total time of flight. Total time of flight. Okay. Total time of flight. And Vihan. What is in opposite direction? In opposite direction, it will be gy into t will be equal to gy into t by 2, I think, right? Will be equal to uy. What about in this direction? I think I did wrong. I think I should consider here as I did before only. No, otherwise it will be completely different set of equations. You have to learn again. Let us not consider it as total time of flight. Let us consider it as t is half the time of flight. I don't know what I should call it. It is time taken to reach up to maximum height. I cannot call it as time of ascent also. Why I cannot call time of ascent? Because ascent is up to this height. But we are talking about time up to this height, up to the maximum displacement. This time will be same as this time. Give me some name, suitable name for it. Use your brain. What should I call it? I want to treat it as half the time of flight. Can I call it T 1 by 2?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, T 1 by 2, let us know. So this time, half the time will be equal to uy by gy, and uy will be equal to gy into t half. And as we do always, hy will be equal to half of g into t 1 by 2 square, and t 1 by 2 will be equal to root 2 hy by g. Means these both relations I have written in one place only. Okay. This. So we have any one thing is known, then others can be determined. Any one thing is known. If I give two diagrams for you with same angle of inclination alpha, and I give you this one, and another one is this one. Sorry, this one. Let us. In these two diagrams, maximum height attained is same only. Maximum height attained is same. So what will be common in these two? If hy is same for this, then many things will be common. Definitely, although it is covering more path and it is covering less path, but I can still guarantee about one thing, that their time of flight will be same. Because time of flight can be directly obtained if height is known, and sorry, I wrote it g. I should have written gy. Okay. So gy is fixed or not? What is gy value for such cases? If it is making an angle alpha, then gy will be equal to g cos alpha, right or not?
Yes, sir.
Gy will be g cos alpha. If gy is g cos alpha, then we can guarantee that as the height is same and gy is same, then time for flight will be same, because time of flight will be, half of the time of flight is equal to root 2 hy by gy. Then what will be the full time of flight? That will be 2 times this. That will be 2 times this. So time of flight will be same only. Okay. What about the initial velocity along y-axis? I don't know.
That is time along x-axis is equal to time along y-axis.
This, you were saying something this time along x-axis, and I got disconnected. Yes. What this time along?
If time taken to go along x-axis and time taken to go y-axis is same or not?
Time taken can never be different. I don't know what you mean by time taken to go along x-axis. Particle is not going along x or y separately. It is single particle only, which is moving in which path?
Yes, sir.
Sir, screen sharing stops.
Screen sharing stopped again.
Yes, sir.
What is the problem with this? So wait, just so time taken. See, this time is, let us say particle goes from here and reaches here.
Sir,
I'm disconnected again and again.
Sir, why won't you continue tomorrow, sir?
You want me to continue tomorrow now?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why so? Time is still, I think, 9 minutes left.
But the device is not.
9 minutes.
This device, I don't know, this network problem is there this time, or what is the issue? Let me check once. I will, okay, let me at least finish that part at least. This part, let me finish. So he was saying that time taken to go from here to here, A to B, and time taken to go from A to C, I think. This is same only, not different. If the time of flight is same, then and the particle reaches here, then how can particle, means it is not like a particle will be independently some X component and Y component. When the particle reaches here, then whether it is along X or it is along Y, it is same thing only, no? It is a single particle only which has two components, X and Y.
Yes, sir, understood.
Okay. All right.
I think yes, understood.
Right only. Then nice. Then we are getting these equations, and we have other equations also which we can write. Other than these equations, which we already know, we can use these. These equations are helpful because these give answer fast. If we are familiar with these, then we can use proportionately method. Okay. But other than that, we can use our common equations like this is, let us say, V, this is, let us say, U. So it will have UX.
Okay,
It will have
direct formula u square sin square theta by 2g also, sir.
yes, those formula. What is that formula? U square sin square theta by 2g.
Maximum height.
Height reaches.
That is wrong. That is for maximum height. That is for this. How can that be same as this? That will not be same as this. That will not give us right answer.
Okay, sir. U cos theta whole square g square sin square theta by 2g, sir.
That is total height. That is this height. Theta will be this total angle theta. Okay.
That means what I am thinking to say is taking the g and u in the new coordinate axis, sir. That is g as g cos alpha.
No, then also it is different. Why is it different?
Okay, sir.
Because of you don't know how to derive that, right? You are not derived it yet in this class. You just remember from the earlier classes. If you go behind the derivation, how we derive it in the first place, you will understand, I think so. Okay. So derivation will have two terms. What is displacement along y axis? Displacement along y, not like this here. I will do it in different way. I will derive it in this way. U, beta, and alpha. X, Y, vertical and horizontal. If I am saying that this particle is like this, it does not go like all the way. It stops here. Somewhere it stops. Where it stops? It stops at the incline.
Yes, sir.
It stops at the incline only. But if it has to go all the way along, then it will be like this. Some students make wrong graphs. Please don't do that. You know what path some students will make? It is common. I also did that only probably when I was your age. I will make maybe this kind of graph. I will think as if it is symmetric about this axis. Not like that. Always remember, when the parabola will be there, this downward projectile will be there, it will be symmetric about real vertical axis only, always. So how the graph will be? The graph will always be like this. The path followed will always be like this only. Now it doesn't matter that you put a obstacle in between and you end the path abruptly. So whenever you have to make the path followed by this projectile, keep it in mind. Make the path first up to the ground, and then cut it up to, then means remove this portion. Then your shape will be perfect shape. This is how the path will be. Some students will make path like this, which is completely wrong. Don't do that. It will not be symmetric about this axis. You understood?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
sir. Okay. So now this part is clear. And next is how to write the equation. Very simple way to write the equation. First, you forget this vertical part, this inclined plane part. We assume as if it is just motion along horizontal. So why I'm doing that? Why I'm treating the motion along horizontal only? Because it is so simple to arrive at the motion along horizontal. Along horizontal motion is very simple. Motion is uniform motion, not uniformly accelerated. Remember, I'm saying uniform motion. Along horizontal motion is uniform motion.
Velocity same along.
Velocity will be constant. UH will remain constant and AH will remain 0. Therefore, SH will be equal to just UH into T. Right or not? What will be horizontal
Yes, sir.
range? Horizontal range will be UH into time of flight. What is the time of flight formula? I told you already.
2 sin theta by
2 uy by gy. Remember, I write HUT. In this,
Yes, sir.
this was uy by gy, but it is half time. Total time of flight will be double of that. Okay.
again screen has stopped it, sir.
Students, I'm ending it now. Tomorrow I will be taking. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Tomorrow I will continue from here only.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay then. Okay then. Bye.
Keep notes in Google Classroom, sir.
Okay, I will do that.